Guys, welcome to today's live stream. Today I have a guest, Abdul, who was in my program a couple years ago.
I've been here a couple of times in Alex's channel, and I reached out to Alex in 2018, and we started basically working together since then. And he basically helped me a lot with my hair. As you can see, it's in a much better shape now than it was back then. Yeah, after working with each other for a bit, then I asked Alex if I can join his team, and so we could work even closer together and help more people, because I know how much this can affect people. And that's where we are now. Basically, it's a kind of privilege to talk about this topic and help other people. So that's why I thought we could have a live stream today to discuss, different causes of hair loss.
I think it was around the time when you reached out to me when you shared this picture of your situation back then, right?
Yeah, correct.
All right. So you had basically amazing recoveries.
Yeah, it was. I was really happy that I was a really just good responder to your treatment, and it went really good. So like just looking back at it, I just remember how much trouble I had to go through, how much reading on forums, etc. I have to do, and it was just much easier to have one guy basically just mentor me through it.
Right. Yes. No, definitely. Like because when you are in my program, right? Basically, you didn't need to do all those steps yourself, right? Basically, you were able to have a plan that you could follow and implement, right? And basically, having that mentorship that I gave you back then basically helped you to understand the problem, understand the plan, and basically understand that it is possible to solve it, right? As long as you are sticking to the plan.
It was much easier to have one certain, like one plan that is gonna work, because it has worked for other people and yourself included. And you have all these different like stuff on YouTube, stuff on forums, on different kind of steps you can take, and it didn't work for me. There's like a lot of steps that are like included in the regrowth plan that isn't like even included in a lot of these forums and YouTube. So it was something that was really great, because it really helped me, and I know it has helped a lot of other people as well, get regrowth on a much faster or get on a much faster road back to their hair that it used to be.
Like what I wanted to do basically today's topic is basically show some examples of other guys who have been working with us now, like because since you have been in my team now, you have also spoke with some of them as well. So basically here are some of the results. Like what do you think about this result?
Yeah, this is an insane like regrowth. You can see like that the crown area, it was much thinner. Even like the hairline, you can see that has kind of improved a bit, and overall thickness of the hair just seems way better. So you can definitely see that this is like a right step in the right direction, and it's not even as I understood, this is a client who has only been with us for 6 months right now. So he still has a lot of time to even improve his recovery even more. I think for me personally, I saw like really great gains at like month 9 or 10. Then I had like really good growth. So I think there's still like a lot of progress that can happen, but overall it's already super great, like a lot of thickness.
Basically, his problem was not DHT, but it was basically sensitivity to foods, dermatitis, and basically shedding that was kind of out of control because of those factors. Plus, also his hair growth cycle was quite weak when we started to work together. And when we basically clean up his scalp, we addressed his diet, and it was a lot of work to address diet, to define the trigger foods, to find out what was basically making his scalp to react. And then addressing the dermatitis, it did take multiple months to basically have a foundation in place. But when we did it, he was basically able to start with growth stimulation. And that's basically his results after solving inflammation or dermatitis in his case, addressing diet, basically cleaning up the scalp, reducing shedding, and using growth stimulation like minoxidil in his case to grow back the hairs that did fall out in the past. So it's a very nice recovery.
Yeah, and most people don't understand, like just using minoxidil, for example, won't like kind of promote regrowth. It can, but for a lot of instances, guys use minoxidil and they're kind of using 1/3 of what it actually can be used for, because they don't have diet on check, they don't have inflammation on check. That is something that is really important to look out for, and it's very difficult to know about this without consulting someone. And as well as it's a very tough progress to kind of find out what kind of foods you're kind of maybe allergic to, etc. Just as you spoke or said, it took you guys a couple of months, and I know that for me and you also, it took a couple of months for me to find out what kind of foods triggered me, because I remember I was shedding a lot of hairs eating, for example, oily foods, and I never understood why it happened before we started talking. So these kind of steps is like the faster you kind of solve it, the faster you can get regrowth like this, and that's why it's really like helpful to kind of get the right tips and tricks of how to do it.
Sure. Yes. No, and definitely agree on it, Abdul. It is like because anything that is wrong, it will affect the results, right? And if one wants to have awesome results, and one has to keep optimizing, one has to keep working on different possible weak spots one may have, right? And it can, for some, it can be diet, like also in your case. For some, it can be DHT, or in some cases, it can just be DHT that is problem. But still, if one keeps optimizing, then one can even get better results, even with just DHT angle, right? So it's always important to kind of have a bigger picture of it. So
exactly, yeah.
Let's see. I have a few more here, Abdul, that I want to take up on today's live stream. Here is other guy that I want to share. And basically, when he reached out to me, this was his situation. So it was quite aggressive male pattern baldness. And there was some light dermatitis, some scalp problems, because you can see the skin is quite shiny, right? It's typical signs there is a bit dermatitis going on. And basically, this is his results.
That's a very good regrowth. That's actually I'm pretty sure when he started out, he didn't think that he was gonna get what results. The last picture was because this is something we learn from reading that getting that kind of regrowth is almost impossible, or you need a hair transplant. But this shows that you don't always do need a hair transplant if you know what you're doing.
Yes, exactly. And you can see basically like this is bald areas, right? And it still was possible to recover them, and he still has around like we spoke before, regrowth is a process that can take up to 24 months.
Yeah, a lot of more thickness.
All right. And what do you think about this guy?
So this guy is probably someone in his, early, like he probably has suffered crown loss, as you can see. And, I know from like talking to other people, like it's much more difficult to get hair back in that kind of area. And when you get that sort of pattern. So for him to get that kind of regrowth, it really shows that, it's it can help everyone with all kind of like pattern hair loss. You don't have to have, it can be, just genetic alopecia. It can be diffuse thinning or everything, but there's like it can help everything basically.
It is about motivation, right? It is about understanding that one has to have a realistic timeline for things, right? And sometimes things can be solved fast, like one can fix the problems fast, and sometimes it can take a longer time, right? But basically, again, if one keeps sticking to it and keeps addressing it and then doesn't give up, one can get results. Like in your case as well, Abdul, like finding that the foods that were causing your scalp inflammation to fire up, it was a process that did take us quite some time, right? But you still were determined on not giving up. You still wanted to basically work on get your hair back again, right? And I think that's very important, right? Because you understood that it won't be easy problem to solve because you already had tried to solve it yourself and you are not able to do it. And at the same time, you basically continued to not giving up, right? You stayed motivated, you keep implementing. Yes, there was frustration from time to time, but you were able to achieve the hair you are having today, right? And it looks great.
Exactly. It's definitely worth it. It's actually one of like the greatest things you can do is to just go all at it. That's what I did, and I don't know a lot of other clients also have done is usually a lot of clients who have come to me and Alex, this is kind of their last resort. Like they've tried a lot of stuff, didn't work, and then they come here and then they get these kind of regrowth. So that begs the question, what if they came way earlier in the start before trying everything else? They could have saved money. They could have saved a lot of time. For some of these people, we are talking about, more than 5 years, like more than 10 years that they could have saved if they knew about this and how we're kind of fixing these kind of problems. And this is something that can save you a lot of stress. To save you a lot of stress.
Sure. Yes, and that is something definitely important, right? Because it do affect quality of life, right? And quality of life won't help. Like if the quality of life is basically not going the way it should, it will affect one's mood, affect one's relationships, it will affect one's basically performance in the workplace. Right? It will have a huge impact, right? And basically, even for example, like I remember myself when I was having hair loss, I become very self-conscious about it. Right? I was always thinking about it. I was thinking about others who were thinking about my hair. Did they notice that I had a diffuse thinning? Was I able to hide it this morning? Right? All those things, and it did affect my mood. Like my mood basically was always kind of depressed, always upset about my situation, and I was not able to enjoy things in life. Right? It did affect my life quality in big ways.
Yeah. Likewise, and I think all the people that are watching this live stream is probably have had something very similar.
Yes, sure. So the vertex recovery. So,
definitely.
Like recovering like this, like it's a 6 months difference between this picture and this one here. So.
Yeah. So still, if still like a lot of room to get even thicker.
Yes, like you can see a lot of those hairs that are coming out, like because when the hair are growing back, like in your case, Abdul, it was a bit different because you are very young when you started to lose hair. You are basically 17, 18, right? If I remember correctly. And in your case, the hair are still kind of in the stage of terminal hair. It's just they had been affected by inflammation, they fall out. And that's why they can quite easily recover. But in, for example, this guy's case, and in my case as well, the hair had become miniaturized. So they have to go through the same process. It's basically a 4-stage process to become terminal hair again. And that takes time, right? And that's why it takes much longer time for this kind of advanced hair loss to recover, basically getting those hair terminal compared to, for example, in your situation, when you start to address your hair loss because your hair was still in that stage of not fully started to miniaturize. They had fallen off, but they still were there. Right? They could still produce terminal hair. So yes, like this guy, if he basically continues to address this problem now after the 6 months, then basically he will have a full recovery. I would say, like it shouldn't be a problem to get the hair that has grown out here to become dark and thick like the other ones.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see, and here's other guy. Basically, this guy here was having very kind of sensitive scalp, like it basically was reacting to a lot of different things. So we had to work a lot of basically on his scalp to address it. So and basically make sure that everything he did was not causing any scalp reaction. And when we found out what was actually main cause, in his case, sensitive scalp to different topicals, we are able to solve the problem, right? And this is basically his results so far. So, and there is still, of course, room for improvement, right? Because like he should be able to cover basically, I would say, like this area here, it should be basically possible world cover. So,
definitely.
Here you can see already things are coming back. So
yeah, a lot of small hairs growing there, and that's a very good sign. Means that it's that area that was previously completely clear of any kind of hair is starting to regrow, and it's so if you zoom in on the last picture on the right, yeah, you can see a lot of those small hairs over there, and that right there is it's a really good sign.
Also see here, like this, I think is like a 4 months into it. So 4 months results, like you can already see that there is a growth activity. So this area here has filled in compared to this one here. So
but
again,
that's sorry, but what I was gonna say is one thing you can see is that from 1 month to 4 months, it was regrowth, but it wasn't that much regrowth. But then you see at the last picture, it's a serious increase in regrowth. So that's something with the program. Like you can't just give up in like 3 to 4 months, because this is a long progress. Like you can imagine that it took you 18 years in your life to start losing your hair. So of course, regrowing your hair won't get back in 2-3 months. We're lucky enough that it takes 1 year-ish to get like a really good regrowth, sometimes even quicker. It really depends. So it's a marathon and not a sprint. Basically, it's really important to remember this when starting this program, and just generally in everything.
Sure. Yes. No, absolutely right. Like because it is like the hair are growing back slowly, right? Especially if the hair loss has been advanced for a long time, it will take time to recover them as well, right? And basically, one has to kind of look for the small wins. For example, if the hair loss has been advanced for a long time, one has to look for small wins, like for example, improved scalp health, less shedding, better overall feeling, right? Some values here, more values here, right? And basically, those values here, they become thicker, stronger, darker over time. Right? They don't happen overnight or a month's time, but it's over time, like time of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, as you told about 9 months results. That's basically when you start to notice the big difference when you compare to old pictures.
Yeah, definitely.
And here is one more guy who I wanted to share. This guy is basically someone who I'm working directly with on helping out, and I have done a few YouTube videos showed how I apply things, gross amount on his scalp, or microneedling. But basically, when he reached out to me, you can see the pattern, similar patterns that you had, basically with skin that was affected by inflammation, and you can see the hair itself was affected by inflammation. Right, they become like a lighter in color. There was some gaps between, like for example, here you can see, and the hair quality basically was kind of. It's a bit different when the scalp is inflamed, when scalp is having problems. It doesn't feel healthy or doesn't look healthy. So, and basically we start to work together. You can also, by the way, see flakes on his scalp when I apply minoxidil on his scalp. There's a lot of flakes that are coming off. So, and basically what we did is that in his case, since he is working with me directly, I was basically addressing several problems at the same time. And basically what happened is that I clean up his scalp at the same time as he did growth stimulation. Usually I don't recommend it because it can be quite intense, but by having direct access to me, it was a bit different. So I could kind of take a shortcuts on it. And this is basically his results after 1 month's time. So.
Yeah, wow.
So basically this is about 30 days later, and you can see like a difference on the top, but also
on the
side.
Thicker.
It's got thicker. Yeah? He's a younger guy there, of course. Like, so it also plays in because he didn't have that mineralization process that usually happens. So, but you can see his scalp is looking healthy. Here is looking healthy and strong, right? And everything looks fine. And again, we are going to work together next 5 months, so it will be more and more improvements. And my plan is basically to document his recovery process each month and basically show how here can improve if one is addressing it correctly on a monthly basis. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think this guy also has a really good like room for potential. As you can see, he still has all of his hair in the right places, and it's really like kind of dense and thick. It's just some areas that are affected with inflammation, as you said. And speaking from someone who has had this, once you can solve that problem, then it's like smooth sailing. Like everything goes much better. It's the hair will like be much more thicker.
Yes, no, definitely. I definitely agree on it. So, and basically, again, for him as well, it wasn't before I showed him those pictures that he noticed how huge difference he had made in months' time. So, and that's also something that's why it's also important to take pictures. Like always, remember take pictures because it is easy to forget the progress. If you see yourself in the mirror every day, it's kind of easy to forget it. Like you just maybe feel that you look a bit more better, you get some more compliments, right? But when you take pictures, you actually can see visually, okay, there is actually improvement. Things are changing, right?
Yeah, definitely. Very important.
Yes, so basically, yeah, those also are a few case studies from the program that I want to show in today's live stream.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add today about?
So I hope people look at these pictures as a sign of inspiration of what they can achieve themselves. It's everything is possible, even regrowing your hair. So people shouldn't, downplay the whole thing that you have to go bald and stuff like that. And these pictures, some of these clients, were almost at the beyond no like in the point of no return. But as you can see, even them like managed to get really good regrowth, and I'm very I'm looking forward to see like what kind of progress they can achieve in either further along the road.
And for you guys who want to know more about Rapid Regrowth program, you can best use the link below this video. I will have the links there to schedule a call with either me or Abdul and basically find out how we can help you with your hair regrowth. All right, thanks for attending, and we speak soon.
Yeah,
Cheers.
see you.
And,
Bye.
see you.